You know, people are really shocked about how much VO pays for electricity.
You mean the $156,000 we paid last year? Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, there are 6 locations in the park that are responsible for 70% of that bill. There's the community center, the 2 pools, the annex building, the administration office, and the maintenance building.
And what's even worse, the cost of electricity is projected to increase by 5 to 8% a year.
5% a year? Let me figure something out and see what that's going to cost us. At 5% per year, times 15 years, wow. Our bill on those 6 buildings could be over $250,000 in 15 years. You know what that'll do to condo fees?
Yeah, we need to figure out some way of keeping these costs down.
Well, you know, SRP came in last year and replaced all the lights. That helped.
Yeah, but you know, you can only do so much with conservation. Besides that, it doesn't keep the costs from rising.
What about solar power? We are in the Valley of the Sun. We could use that.
Do you have any idea what solar would cost?
Not offhand.
You know, I kind of figured it'd be around a couple $1 million. That would involve the A word.
What's the A word?
Assessment.
Oh, right.
Hey guys, did I just hear the word assessment?
No.
Oh.
We were just talking about solar power.
Solar power? I was just reading about solar power. Have you heard about the great incentives the government is offering?
No.
Well, let me see if I can find it in here. Let's see. There's a 30% dollar-for-dollar tax credit, and you get more off your taxes in depreciation. Plus, the state of Arizona is giving a 10% tax credit. What?
Marty, Venture Out is a not-for-profit corporation. We don't pay any taxes.
Oh, that's right.
Excuse me, but I couldn't help but overhear you, and I may have an answer to your problem. I represent a group of people who can not only use those tax credits, but they are actively looking for them.
Well, how could our tax credits help you?
They would become ours because we would pay for your solar system, and then we would lease it back to you for 15 years at a flat rate. Your power bill would be the same for the next 15 years for those 6 buildings you were talking about earlier. We would keep the tax credits and these incentives.
Oh, that's good because we can't use them.
At the end of 15 years, we will have used up the tax credits and the depreciation. Therefore, we would sell it back to you for $1.
That sounds too good to be true to me.
Not at all. Many nonprofits like yourselves find themselves in the same boat, and that's why they work with groups like me.
Like who?
The Scottsdale school system, for one, 13 YMCAs throughout the valley, several churches, and Leisure World is considering the same system. Could I show you some pictures?
Sure, sit down.
This is part of the Scottsdale school system.
Well, those look like parking structures to me. We don't have parking structures in place.
Those could be part of your design.
So if we were interested, where would we start?
You really want to talk to SRP.
Did I hear somebody mention SRP?
We were just talking about SRP's solar project. Do you know anything about that?
Well, you know, I think I've got some information in here on that. Well, it looks like I've got good news and bad news.
Well, what's the bad news?
Well, the bad news is SRP only allots a certain amount of money for incentives each year. And that money's been gone for months.
So what's the good news?
Well, the good news is the new incentives start May 1st. You know, as they award these incentives, the amount drops. So if you're approved in the first go-around, you're gonna get the best incentives. You need to get an application in by the 1st of May. Boy, it's too bad you didn't know about this a year ago. The incentives were twice as much then as they are now. But better late than never. This is really a good deal, guys. And this whole thing ends 2016.
You know, this is sounding like a real opportunity. This could make a huge difference in our future condo fees.
Now keep in mind, you can only do 3 projects a year.
Didn't you say 6?
You would have to do 3 this year and 3 next year, and then apply again next year for the last 3.
And why is that again?
Well, your incentives are going to be bigger this year than next year. So you want to take your biggest users times the biggest incentives will give you the most money.
Does it make a big difference?
Yes, it certainly does. It could make a difference of as much as $200,000 in the next 15 years. Then the more you get from SRP, the lower your lease payments. And years 16 through 20, SRP would be making those incentives directly to venture out. That could be as much as $25,000 to $50,000 a year.
Wow, that much a year?
Yes.
Oh, great.
I think that this would require a vote of the residents. If we were awarded the incentives, we could vote in February and be ready to go in the summer.
Nope. You only have 9 months to complete and be online.
Well, that means a February vote wouldn't work, and we're going to have a summer vote on this.
Let me see if I have this right. There are equity groups that will put solar in areas of the park with no upfront money from us, and then lease it to us for a fee that will not change for 15 years. And at the end of 15 years, they will continue to make payments to us for another 5 years. Hey, now I understand the article I read this morning. They're talking about the same exact thing. ASU lot goes solar. It seems ASU found an equity group that's willing to finance the construction of these panels, and in return they'll get a flat rate on their electricity for 25 years.
But to do this, we need to make an application to SRP by May 1st. If we make the cut for the incentives, we have to get bids, select a contractor, and get a vote of the residents.
We would probably like to get this done before everyone gets back. How long would it take to get this done?
6 to 8 weeks.
I think that would be doable, but we better get this to the condo board.
I hope you have enjoyed our presentation. This is a simplified version of how we made the decision to apply for solar incentives. There has been a committee with backgrounds in public utilities, accounting, property investments, and city planning working on this for the last 4 months. Our generation has no experience in solar, and so they had to start from scratch. Meeting weekly, they have sought information, dug through proposals, asked questions, and garnered data. By the time the committee felt they had enough information to make a recommendation, the season was almost over, and they then had to bring the condo board up to speed. The condo board has decided that it is their fiduciary responsibility to authorize a summer vote for approval of solar installations. Rather than wait another year and miss the opportunity for this year's incentives, and also the possibility that these incentives will be reduced the next year. Detailed information on this project will be coming in the June packet, and ballots will follow in July. This project has no out-of-pocket cost to venture out lot owners and gives us the opportunity to install solar. In light of the most recent announcement by SRP to again raise our rates, we feel that we should take every opportunity to help control our costs, and solar is a big step in that direction.
Hey Don, have you heard the news?
What's that?
We got accepted for that SRP solar project.
What is that going to do for us?
What it'll do, it'll give us an actual solar project finished with no assessment to the residents.
Great.
It's going to give us a 20-year lease at the same rate of electricity cost as we have now over that 20-year period.
Great.
And we get the right to purchase it back from them anytime after 7 years.
That sounds wonderful.
We're gonna be doing it on 3 buildings like we talked about before, so.
Good. Who's the contractor?
Concord Sustainable, and we've got an equity group also that's gonna handle the lease.
What's the next step?
Well, our next step, of course, is to get the contract finalized with Concord Sustainable and get everything set with the equity group. And of course, we've got to get a vote of the residents to approve it.
Okay.
We're going to be sending out a ballot the first part of July with a deadline of August 15th.
That's pretty quick.
Well, we figure it's workable. We stick to the timeline.
Good.
Hopefully the job will be done by the end of October before the residents get back.
That'll be great. We'll have shaded parking, and I won't have to worry about burning my hand like I did today on the way over.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I forgot my oven mitt, I guess.
Thank you for watching.